Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AAFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Great to have you in the program with us. A couple of quick things. I want to jump into what President Obama did yesterday with regard to Obamacare. And I've written a column on it. It's going to be up at rightlyconcerned.com if it's not up there already. But a couple of quick things before we get into that. I just cleared this story just before I came across the street. And we've talked about the fact that, it is my considered opinion that we should not have women in uniform, period. They don't have the upper body strength. They don't have the stamina to be able to do what we need soldiers in combat to be able to do. Anytime they're handling any kind of equipment or weaponry, operating any kind of vehicle, there's a certain level of strength and stamina that either is required or may be required under stressful circumstances, under the circumstances of combat. And we must have certain physical standards that we insist that every soldier meet. And women just cannot do it. They're just not equipped by God for those kind of purposes. But it's particularly true for our infantry. And here's a story from the Washington Times. Rowan Scarborough, a third pair of female Marine lieutenants has failed to complete the Corps Infantry Officer course at Quantico, Virginia. This is the third time now. They are desperate to try to get women to pass this thing, and they just cannot do it. Why? God did not make them that way. This is God's fault. The reason that these women cannot meet these physical standards is entirely the fault of the Creator. What does the Bible say? Genesis 1, male and female, he created them. There is a difference by God's design, God's creative order. There is a difference between men and women. Even Lego has discovered that. I got a story in the stack somewhere in here. They spent hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars trying to figure out why girls don't buy boys' toys and why boys don't buy girls' toys. And they finally figured out, we don't know what it is, but boys prefer certain kind of toys and just girls don't. They never could get girls interested in construction toys. Never happened, no matter what they did. They could paint them purple. They could paint them pink. They could put bows on the dump trucks, and the girls simply would not buy them. So they finally just gave up and said, look, there's differences here between male and female. It's just absurd that we are so politically blinded here that we fail to accept obvious reality, biological reality, common sense reality, research reality. Anyway, the Marines stubbornly out there and they're just endangering the health of these women because the injury rate of women that try to meet these standards is exceptionally high. The Marine Corps Times embedded a reporter with the latest class of candidates. It reported Wednesday that one of the women was pulled for falling behind schedule. The other made it to the course's end but did not meet its standards, as did 6 men. So the score, 6 men passed, 0 women. Corps commanders have said they will not lower standards to ensure that women can qualify for direct ground combat units. Well, then forget about it. It's never, ever going to happen. The Pentagon last winter lifted the ban on women in such jobs, but it has opted to conduct 2 years of study on how sex integration would work for infantry, armor, and special operations. It won't work. That's the bottom line. You don't need 2 years. I can tell you right now what's going to happen at the end of 2 years. If it's an honest assessment, an honest study, it will not work. And here it is. Here's what the embedded reporter wrote. Just what I told you. I even got this part in the story. The women seemingly failed primarily due to struggles with upper body strength. What did I just tell you? Whose fault is that? That's God's fault. He designed men with upper body strength, did not design women to have the same upper body strength. Why? Because he's designed men to be warriors, and he's designed women to be mothers. What is hard to understand about that? In one example, the reporter goes on, they both struggled to climb a 20-foot rope required twice. One Marine made it all the way up once but could not do it again. The other woman was unable to make it up the rope even one time. In October, 2 women failed to complete the course, one because of a foot fracture. They just don't have the skeletal structure or muscular structure for this kind of physical stress. In April, 2 other female lieutenants were unable to finish the 13-week training regimen, which is designed to create ground combat commanders. So you're not going to get ground combat commanders that are females. The Corps sent a memo to Congress which said this: the Marine Corps' high standard cannot be lowered, nor can we artificially lower them to ensure a certain percentage of females will qualify. Conversely, we will not artificially raise our standards. All right, so that is the news on that front. And Rob, if we can kind of shift gears here a little bit for this next